The countdown is on, but you're not alone. This is Countdown to College, your weekly guide from Education Quest Foundation, here to help you plan, apply, and pay for college one step at a time. I'm your host, Gage, and today we are honored to be joined by Nebraska State Treasurer Tom Briese. Hi, Treasurer Briese. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, great to be here today, Gage. Thanks for having me.
Now, we both know that September is College Savings Month, a perfect time to focus on how families and students can prepare for the cost of higher education. So, today we will share why saving for college is so important and discuss tools families can use to make saving a habit each month. So, Treasurer Breezy, let's just start with the basics. Why is it so important for families to start thinking about saving for college early?
Yeah, that really is the key here that you can't overstate the importance of higher education in the life of a young person. Really, higher education would be a game changer for young people. You know, as parents, grandparents, whatever, we're always looking for ways to create opportunity for young folks. And what better way to create opportunity than the gift of higher education? But higher education, it's expensive. And because of that expense, because of the potential roadblocks to achieving access to higher education, you have to start planning early. You can never plan too early. You need to start early, plan early, begin saving early. And we talk again, talking about the importance of higher education. There's data out there that suggests a bachelor degree can be worth nearly $3 million more in earnings over the course of a lifetime than someone with simply a high school diploma. Uh, and so there's a very significant impact to having higher education. We want our young folks to have the education and training that they desire. We need to start early to plan for that.
Yeah. And I know we talked about starting early. Is there kind of an ideal time for families to start saving for a child's education? Like 5, 10, when they're born? Like when's a good time?
Yeah, I would simply say the earlier the better. The earlier the better. But that's not always practical. You know, we all realize that young families they can have some budgetary constraints. It can be difficult to save and invest for higher education at an early age. But the sooner that you can start, the better off you're going to be. So I'd encourage young families, look at your budget, see what you can afford, see what you can invest into the higher education of your children and start as early as possible. Same is true for grandparents, friends, whoever. Start early. And why start early? Because the more years, the more years you dedicate towards making those investments, the more you're going to accumulate. And then the compounding of earnings on those investments over time will have a more of an opportunity to grow to a higher level. So I would suggest the earlier the better. You can't start too early.
And let's just say maybe a family didn't have an opportunity to start super early. Is it ever too late for a family to start saving for college?
Ever too late to start saving for college? Heck no. You know, short answer, heck no. Regardless, start early, start late, whatever the case may be. Start as early as possible, but it's never too late. Whether you're talking about a child still in the womb or a newborn or uh, someone in middle school, high school, be thinking about saving and begin as soon as you can. But also, as I say, you know, you can save and invest for a child that's currently in high school as well.
Yeah, we talk to students a lot too about, and me personally, I was even saving for college still while I was in college. I had a part-time job, did some work study stuff here and there, so it's never too late. Let's talk about Nest 529 college savings plans, which are a hot topic in College Savings Month. So, for families who maybe have never heard of them before, what is the Nest 529 college savings plan and how does it work?
Yes, Nest 529 is Nebraska's version of a 529 college savings plan. And it really is a state-sponsored, tax-advantaged means of saving and investing for the higher education of a loved one or anyone for that matter. It's a great way to save and invest for higher education. There are some significant tax benefits. The dollars can be professionally managed. And then those dollars can be withdrawn at a later date for higher education related expenses. Again, it's a win-win-win for everyone involved. Great way to save and invest for higher education.
And I know you touched briefly on some of the benefits of a 529, but what are kind of the main benefits as opposed to just, you know, putting money in a regular savings account or a piggy bank or something like that?
Sure. With a Nest 529 plan, the contributions to that plan may be deductible against your state income tax or on your state income tax return up to a certain amount. Potentially a $10,000 per year deduction, up to a $10,000 per year deduction, and $5,000 for those married filing separately. The investment earnings on that plan grow free of federal and state taxation. Those dollars can be withdrawn free of income tax to the extent they are used for qualified education expenses. And so some very significant tax benefits to doing to investing in this way. The dollars, again, as I indicated earlier, can also be professionally managed. There are several different investment options that you can choose from there and to hopefully grow those dollars over time again in a tax-free manner. And then those dollars can be utilized for a wide array of education-related expenses when those dollars are needed. And so really it's a great way to save and invest for the higher education of a child or a grandchild or anyone else for that matter.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, you know, starting early, your money can just compound more and more and more the longer it's in there. So it's a good idea to start early.
You bet, great point.
And so who can actually contribute to a Nest 529 account?
Essentially, anyone could contribute to a 529 plan. If you want the tax deduction, set up a plan on your own for a child or a grandchild or whoever. And then you can gain the Nebraska tax deduction for presumably gain the Nebraska tax deduction for contributions to that plan. But even if you are not, and you would be the plan owner in that situation, but even if you're not the plan owner, you can contribute to anyone's plan that has been set up. So essentially anyone can contribute.
That's great. Yeah, we always tell kids around the holiday time, ask your family for contributions to your Nest 529. Makes it really easy.
Suggest to folks that are going to be giving a child or a grandchild a Christmas or birthday present, consider a contribution to 529 college savings account. It's a great gift
Yeah.
that will keep on giving.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so we touched on this topic just a little bit, but obviously this is not a regular savings account, so you can't exactly, use the expenses for a vacation or something. So what types of expenses can families actually pay for using 529 funds?
In a nutshell, a wide variety of expenses, tuition, books, computers, laptops, supplies, room and board to a certain extent. Under some situations, those dollars can be used to repay student loans up to a certain amount. And so there's a wide variety of things that those dollars can be utilized for in furtherance of higher education.
And let's say, this is a hot topic also when it comes to 529s and some of our families, is they don't know for sure or not if their kid will end up actually wanting to go to college after they graduate. So what happens to the account if the student doesn't attend college?
Yeah, and that certainly can happen. A student might decide to pursue other things. And in that situation, though, the account The beneficiary can be changed to a family member, or leave it in the account and change the beneficiary at a later time. Or you can withdraw the money, but there's going to be some penalty if you withdraw it, which is essentially a non-qualified use. Be some penalty associated with that, but that can be done. And currently in Nebraska, you can direct some of those dollars to a Roth IRA on behalf of the beneficiary, up to with some certain limitations, up to a certain amount. Account had to be in place for, I believe it's 15 years, and only those dollars have been invested in the account longer than 5 years. But yes, it can be converted over to a Roth IRA as well. So there's a lot of different options. I think the end of the day, the moral of the story is plan on higher education, plan on saving and investing for higher education. And if higher education is not in the cards, there's several different options that can be accessed with those dollars.
That's great to hear. And so we've talked about Nest 529 back and forth, but how can families actually get started with opening a Nest 529 account?
Go to our website, nest529.com. There you can register online or create an account online. We maintain, only takes about 10 minutes. It typically a simple and easy process. Have to provide some information for yourself as an account owner, have to provide some information as to the beneficiary of the account, have to make some decisions as to how you want those dollars invested, maybe designated one of the several different investment options there. But it's a simple process, can be done online, or you can simply also request a paper packet if you prefer to do it with paper.
Yeah, the Nest 529 site is a great resource too. If our audience has any other more specific questions, there's just tons of information and resources on there. So,
Yes, that's a great point. I would direct anyone with questions, thoughts about it, go to the website, nest529.com, and all of your questions should be answered there.
Treasurer Briese, I have one final question for you. What just sort of final advice do you have for families who feel they can only save maybe a small amount every month?
Yeah, there's no minimum amount needed to open an account, no minimum amount of contribution. I would suggest, depending upon your budget, save and invest what you comfortably can, and then encourage others, family or friends, again, at birthdays, holidays, if they can kick in something in lieu of a present, that's helpful as well. But look at your budget, look at your situation. Every amount matters, and over time, even small amounts can compound into larger amounts through the investment earnings in these accounts.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm glad you brought that up because we always tell people, start these accounts when the kid's like 5, right? 15 years later, even if you only put in a small amount, like every single month, that's going to be quite a bit of money, even by the time you get to graduation. So,
Yeah, yes, the power of compounding interest can be very helpful in situations like this over a long period of time.
yeah. Okay, well, that was all of my questions. Thank you again, Treasurer Briese, for joining us. I know that a lot of our students and our families listening at home will really appreciate all of your insights today.
You bet. Thanks for having me here, and really excited about the program. Again, it's a win-win-win for everyone involved. It's a great way to save and invest for higher education, significant tax benefits. Dollars can be professionally managed, and those dollars can be utilized for a wide array of education-related expenses going forward. And again, we're talking college savings program, but we're talking 4-year degrees, 2-year degrees, tech school, vocational schools, even apprenticeships. And so we're talking about higher education in general.
Yeah. And like we just mentioned earlier, again, nest529.com, so much information, so many resources if you have any other questions.
Very,
Um,
very,
to our audience, if you ever need help with anything else college related, you can contact an Education Quest office near you for free help. You can find all of our contact information and schedule an appointment at educationquest.org. While you are there, sign up for the weekly Countdown to College email that's filled with college tips and tricks. Finally, help us get this message out to as many students and families as possible by subscribing to this podcast on your favorite platform and hitting the like button on this episode. Thanks for watching and listening, and we will see you next week.